What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Skylyfe Projects. Hope y'all doing good and staying super blessed. I got another video for you guys today, and before we start this video, I just want to say thank you so much for the last video. You guys, I'm not kidding with you. It was probably around 1,300 views each day, which I haven't seen that many views on the channel in a long time. So thank you so much for your dedication, your support, your ideas, everything like that going towards the build of my 2023 WRX. So you guys are solid. I can't believe how well that video actually did. Now, in today's video, we are going to talk about what makes the VB WRX, the years 2022 to 2023, and now going into 2024, what makes the VB WRX actually a WRX. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're also going to talk about what Subaru could have or is going to improve on. I understand the new WRX 2024 TR model is coming out, but there's always a but. There is some things Subaru could improve on that model as well, and that's what we're going to talk about today. You guys, before we start, please smash that thumbs up button for me if you enjoyed the video, and if you aren't subscribed already, please do so and subscribe to this channel. We have a lot of content coming up with Skylyfe Projects. Remember, this is not going to be the only project. It is how it is for now, but I'm telling you, this will not be the last project. So stay tuned. Let's get this video started. Much love and blessings, y'all. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about that makes the WRX a WRX, you guys, is the all-wheel drive. That is number one, right? The all-wheel drive. And with all that being said, you do have some pretty good power for the money, right? You have good power for the money. I'm trying to adjust the camera here. There we go. It makes 271 horsepower to the crank and 258 pound-feet of torque, which isn't too shabby. It's not half bad. The VA model, which was years 2015 to 2021, made 268 horsepower to the crank with the same amount of torque at 258. So for the VB chassis, we're only looking at a 3 horsepower increase. So with that being said, maybe Subaru could have gave us a little more room, little more power, you know, maybe put it to what, 289, 300, somewhere around there, 305 even, to keep up with the Type R and the, you know, Elantra N and the Integra Type S now, right? Even though those are front wheel drive, this is all wheel drive. I just think Subaru could have gave us more power, and you know, that's kind of where we stand with that. That's one of the things I want Subaru to improve on for next year's model, maybe in 2025, 2026. You guys, maybe we'll see a 300 horsepower WRX again like the STI. I don't know. Probably not, but I'm just saying it's a pipe dream. It could happen, right? Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is the handling. The VB WRX is very good at handling corners. You guys, honestly, it is so good at handling. It just reminds me again of me being in the driver's seat in my old Type R. It's really that good. It hugs corners like it's nothing. I mean, the chassis is solid, it's rigid. There is really no comparison for the amount of money this car costs. I would say maybe compared to an Elantra N, but again, that's front wheel drive. This is all wheel drive. So for an all wheel drive chassis, yeah, it just does so much. I'm trying to get the camera right here. There we go. All right, what else makes it? Well, it has aerodynamics in a way, and I mean, Subaru could have improved a little bit more on the aerodynamics, but with what I added, you know, the Flow Designs splitter kit and everything, I think it looks good, you know, and I think it honestly performs very well with what's equipped on the car. But from the factory, there's things Subaru could have done, maybe could have changed, but I'm really not complaining, because they still have, you know, the side sills here. They still got this for air to the brakes. They still have, let me bring this camera around here. They still have front air ducts right there. You know, there's a lot of cooling going on here. Styling wise, styling cue points. Yeah, I think Subaru did pretty well, to be honest with you. The design really doesn't bug me as much as it does with other people, like the cladding and everything. I guess it really depends on what color you get, right, with your WRX. But for silver, I don't think it looks half bad. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Another thing I want to talk about here is the transmission. So, did they drop the ball on the transmission for the VB WRX? The answer is yes, they did. They did not put a performance STI transmission in this vehicle. They just didn't. They don't have the VBs don't have the SI drive. They don't have any of that. You can't tune the suspension at all. It is how it sits from the factory. But again, to reach that price point, obviously that's why Subaru went this direction, to stay under, even with the limited model, under that 40 grand. Okay, remember the Type R, I think I paid 43,895 or something like that back in Black Friday of 2020. So this I got for $36,433. There was a B right there. But yeah, for the money, we really can't complain. I just wish Subaru would have improved the transmission, gave us a little more power levels, but the all-wheel drive and the handling and the suspension as it sits from the factory is not bad. It's actually a pretty comfortable ride in my opinion. I don't know if you're heavier set, you might feel more bumps. For me, I'm pretty athletic build, kind of slender, so I don't really feel all those bumps in the road like people are saying they do. I guess it really just depends on who you are. Also, the seats you decide to go with, you know, all of that. Okay, what's the next thing? Well, let's bring it over here, y'all. Let's take this, kick the camera there. Let's kick it down right here. And what I want to focus on is this, those little brakes. The little brakes from Subaru, I believe, you guys, these are a not even 2-piston braking system. I think the caliber is at a 1-piston. Rotors aren't drilled, rotors aren't slotted. I don't know the millimeter, but I imagine, what are they, 285, 300 millimeters, something like that. Whatever they are, they're really tiny for front brakes, okay? And the rears are even worse. So, honestly, with that being said, Subaru could have given us Brembos. They could have given us a 4-piston braking system in the front, right? And then a 2-piston braking system in the rear. Of course, that's going to raise the price, but really by how much? 25, 2,800, 3,000, something like that. I'm sure Subaru would have figured it out. They did it for the TR model. What does that start at? 42,000, right? So here's the solution. Here's what we're gonna do on the channel and Skylyfe projects. I'm going to obviously replace the front and rear brakes with the BBK, a big brake kit, and it's going to be, I believe, New Provisions Racing with their Brembo kit they have. So it's basically like an STI setup. It'll say Brembo on the calipers. I'm going to get them in blue, make them all look nice, drilled and slotted rotors, front and rear. You know, that's what I was thinking of doing. JD Muscle now has a whole big brake kit out. There's also, you know, TDMI. So there's a lot of big brake kit options out there, is what I'm basically trying to say, because the aftermarket knows that the enthusiast, the consumer like us, we need a big brake kit on these cars. I don't care if you're at stock power levels or not. The brake fade on the stock OEM factory brakes is awful. It's terrible, and it can get dangerous. If you do not know what you're doing, you don't downshift properly, these can get dangerous. It doesn't matter what anybody says, you need to drive one of these cars and see the brake fade difference compared to a Type R, compared to an Elantra N, compared to even a Honda Civic Si. To be real with you, these brakes are worse than a Honda Civic Si. I don't know. Subaru really needs to improve that for sure. But now let's talk about this. Another thing, you guys, is going to be the tires. So the tires that come stock are the Dunlop, what are they, Dunlop SP Compact Sports, I believe. They are a very sticky summer tire, but honestly, I wasn't a fan of them because I just felt like, how do I say this? I just felt like they weren't holding their own in corners. It was a very bumpy, noisy ride with those tires. This car definitely needs all seasons right out the gate, hence why I have a Zenith Falcon FK 460 all seasons ultra performance. These definitely hold their own in corners, all weather conditions, everything like that. It was just risky with those Dunlop, you know, sport compact tires that came factory with the vehicle. I literally switched them out, I would say 2.5 weeks or so into when I purchased the vehicle. So yeah, those were definitely an issue, and I hope Subaru, you know, puts Michelin's or Falcons like this going forward onto their cars and gets rid of those Dunlops, because honestly, I was not a fan. Some people may disagree, but for me, no, I wasn't a fan. Another thing, you guys, that not a lot of people mention here, at least on the limited model, are these basically advanced auto leveling headlights. They do an introduction sequence when you turn the car on, and honestly, they are so super bright. They're LEDs. They're fully functional. They have automatic brightness equipped to them. On top of that, you get the LED fog lights below, which are right there. You get those as well. So they're really good headlights. And I remember on my 2011 WRX STI hatch, basically had the same function. The only difference was I actually had a head leveling switch on that car. These, somehow, some technology, just like BMW and Audi and Mercedes, they just do it themselves. I don't even know how to explain it. It basically just fills the road. So whatever angle the headlight direction is in, it will shine that whole pathway out, and it will turn when you turn the wheel and shine that whole pathway out. It's absolutely incredible. One more thing, hood scoop. All WRXs are known for their hood scoop because of obviously the top mount intercooler. Again, we were talking about the FA24 engine already. Let me open that up. Let me open this up for you guys real quick. So the FA24 is this motor for the VB. As you can see, still top mount intercooler like WRX. As you can see, the intake manifold still on this, I believe, I don't even think the VA was plastic. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the VA was actually more of a metal. We have this now as a plastic intake manifold, which I don't understand. The only thing I can think of is obviously for cooler temperatures, cooler IATs, everything like that. But the intake system, it's basically the same as the VA. I mean, I upgraded it obviously, but really can't complain about the intake stock either. And still makes the turbo noises and everything just like the VA does, but really there's nothing much else to talk about here. It FA24, 3 horsepower difference from the FA20. So yeah. All right, let's get back to the video. We still have a little bit of a sound even from the factory on the stock exhaust, right? You guys have heard the exhaust in the previous video. I have obviously the Ray Motorsports 3-inch catback, but even from the factory, I was impressed. The cold starts were just amazing. Matter of fact, let me start this car here real quick. Give me a second, guys. So the car is heated up right now, right? Obviously we don't, not on a cold start, but see, that's the beauty of it, because on downshifts and upshifts and everything like that, you still get that pop in the exhaust, kind of like the FA20 motors. Well, the FA24 is a little bit different because, you know, it's designed differently with the headers, right? We're an unequal length, we're an equal length header, and then the FA20 was at unequal length. So that does make a difference with sound. We don't have the true Subaru rumble like the STI of the VA or the WRX, but in return we get more power in the mid-band. So we get 258 pound-feet of torque at 2,000 RPMs, as opposed to the VA motor, the FA20, that was at 4,000 RPMs. So let me do this. I'm going to rev it a couple times here. So we still, I mean, it depends on what exhaust we get here, whatever one we depends whatever one we put on, I should say. You know, there's definitely different unique sounds to each exhaust system, but the point is, I do miss that rumble, I'm not gonna lie, but in return, I still like the power band the VB has. I feel it's more solid, it's more rigid, it's more planted. And honestly, I think this is the best looking WRX by far when it comes in terms of design. There's different things that Subaru really could have changed on this VB chassis, but honestly, you guys, let me get the camera back up here. It's really not that bad. Obviously, there are some things that I need to improve on for this build, but in return, I still love this WRX. I think it's absolutely outstanding for the money you pay. It is a true grocery getter on, you know, grocery shopping on the weekends, on the weekdays, whenever you go grocery shopping. It can hold your whole family, you know, kids in the back, no problem. 38 inches of leg room, which is incredible. I think my Type R was 35.9, I believe. So I basically have another 2.1 inches of legroom for my kids in this car. The trunk, very spacious, holds everything you want, your tools, your groceries, your iPad, your laptop, suitcases, whatever, you know. So that's really everything that comes down to it here. For the money, it's worth it. And this WRX definitely makes it a WRX for the power band, for the quick shift throws, not saying the whole transmission, but the shifter is not really that bad, honestly, from factory. It's a little sloppy and moves around, but it still felt solid, and there were still precise shifts, even though they were longer, right? It doesn't sound bad from the factory with the factory exhaust. Still got the all-wheel drive. We still have all the handling characteristics that makes a Subaru a Subaru. It can get in all weather conditions. It gets in trouble in snow, you know, and then finds its way out. It's not like a front wheel drive or rear wheel drive vehicle where you're just skidding like this through the snow. No, we actually plow and go through it. There's plenty of videos out there that show the VB WRX can hold its own in snow and dirt, any kind of weather condition, heavy rainfall. That's what makes it still a WRX. And like I said, the styling cue points, not too shabby, not too bad. But really, this is a quicker video, you guys. That's all I wanted to say in this video. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button for me. I greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. This is another video with Skylyfe projects. You guys, we got more coming up, and stay tuned for that. All right, much love and blessings, guys. Let's go.